Hi, thanks for participating in 4 built-in Google Docs features you must know. Today, the learning objectives are going to be, you should be able to identify at least one state resource available for support. And then you will also be able to demonstrate at least 3 ways to support student accommodations with Google Chrome. And please know that there are tons of ways to support student accommodations within Google Chrome. But today I'm just going to focus on Google Docs and talk about maybe a few of the accommodations that are already built in that you may not know. So within the next half hour, 40 minutes or so, we're going to just give you an overview of who we are, who I am, and then talk about the why. And then we'll get right into those built-in assistive technology supports that are within Google Docs. So I'm with the Patins Project, and Patins is an acronym if you did not know that. So it's promoting achievement through technology and instruction for all students. So when I say all students, I certainly mean all students, not necessarily just the students who are getting special ed services, but any students who are facing any barriers that we can support them in making sure that they can have independent access. So I'm Kelli Suding. I'm one of the Patins specialists, and there are 8 of us within the Patins Project that cover the entire state. And so our supports are for all public K through 12 schools. So I specialize in autism, specific learning differences, the Google Chrome accessibility, and then the integration of accessible education materials and assistive technology integration. So make sure you check out each specialist, because like I think I mentioned, we all specialize in different areas. So we are all very well-rounded in the way that we can support you. Also, please just check out our services. I will not go over all of these because this is not just about a Patins 101, but I want to make sure that you understand that all of these services are available to you as an Indiana public educator. So attending our state conference, we have virtual office hours on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Know that we have a lending library where you can borrow almost on nearly any piece of assistive technology that you would need to support your students at no cost from us. And also check out our Indiana Center for Accessible Materials, or what we refer to as ICAM. This is where your students who have qualifying print disabilities can get all of their specialized formats through us at no cost. Sign up for our newsletter, our blog. We also have a refurbished tech program that is at no cost to you. You just need to fill out a quick application on our website and just asking for what you need and why, and then they will contact you, and then you can get some free technologies to support your student in the classroom. Also check out our Patins TV, and know that all of our trainings are at no cost to you. We will do supports around universal design for learning, accessible education materials, and assistive technology. So all of that sort of AT support and assistance for you. Our Patins Tech Expo, mark your calendars, is going to be in April. And as of right now, it's face-to-face. We're going to see, hopefully that can happen. But if it becomes virtual, it'll still be just as great. We had our first virtual Tech Expo last year and it turned out just fine. So be sure to check that out and register for that when it opens. Everything is at no cost to you for that as well. Our Indiana Resource Network, this is just a really good resource for you to have on hand. Make sure you go to the IDOE's website, and they will have a list of all of what I'm showing you now. These are all supports that you also have within Indiana that you have access to. That QR code on the top right, if you hold up your device, will take you directly to all of those Indiana Resource Networks. You can follow us on Facebook. We post all of our trainings and what we're doing, and a lot of tips and tricks. Just some quick guides. Our blogs and everything are on Facebook, so please check out our Facebook page. Also on Tuesday evenings at 8:30, you can join our Twitter chat where you can earn PGP points for participating in that. And if you're unable to be there live, we will have basically a packaged version of that you can read through and then fill out a form to still earn those PGP points. So it's from 8:30 to 9 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday evenings. So the importance of accessibility in learning. I have this as a new day has dawned, because of right now that we are certainly, many of us are doing hybrid. We are teaching in the classroom online, or maybe just online right now. So we have to make sure that our instruction is accessible for all of our learners, regardless of where our students are learning from and learning where. So we have to really overcome a lot of barriers before our students can even get to the academic piece, right? And so oftentimes, when we look at the icons at the at the top. So we have an individual with a cane, a wheelchair, and crutches. So these are individuals who maybe be coming in our classroom and it's really maybe obvious to us that perhaps they need an accommodation. They need our make sure our room is spaced for navigation of a wheelchair. Perhaps our student who has blindness or low vision, we automatically realize that we may need large print. We may need a specialized format of audio or braille. And so accommodations really come more natural for us when we can actually kind of visually see that. So the bottom icon, it just looks like an individual, and we're really not sure that they have been identified with any learning difference. But when we are supporting all of our students and offering accommodations to support all of our students when they have choices, that we can really cover all of the barriers when our students come in. But the accommodations that I'm really going to focus on, the 4 built-in features on the Google Docs, will support all of your students, but specifically I'll be referring to students with specific learning differences who perhaps in their IEP, it mentions that perhaps they need all of their formats in an audio version and et cetera. And we can remove those barriers by integrating assistive technology. So assistive technology basically is any piece of equipment or product that will increase and maintain functional capabilities with a student or individual with a disability. So this can be anything that can support a student who can be independent in their learning. So one thing I just want you to dive into is all of the devices that your students are using, whether it's a personal computer, it's a Mac, it's an iPad, it's an Android, or it's a Chromebook, that they will have accessibilities that are already built in. So the first thing I really want you to do, if you have not done this yet, is go into the accessibility settings of your students' devices and just see what's in there. This is a screenshot of a Chromebook. So you're going to notice at the top, it says Chromebook. So this is a screen reader, which means it will read all of the text within the Chromebook by scanning. And then select to speak is the text to speech, which will take text and then it will speak the words, and then our students can read auditorily or read with their ears. So that is an option already built into the Chromebook. And then also one is dictation. Or speech to text. So this is where a student will speak the words and then the device will start typing for them. So this can really be a feature that's a game changer for those students who really have a lot of great things to say, and they really get hiccuped when it comes to the mechanics of writing that down or keyboarding. So this is using dictation is an awesome way for students to be able to be fluid in their writing. So check out those accessibility settings that are in those devices for sure. And if you need further training, just know that I am available to do any Chromebook accessibility training, and also my colleague, Amanda. Jenna Fallbush is Microsoft, and then Lisa Benfield is Apple Accessibility. So please reach out to us anytime if you would like to dive deeper in those accessibility settings. So when I'm talking about assistive technology, I'm really thinking about the accommodations for students. So this is where students have a way, some device, some support that they can be independent in their learning. So I love this so much because this is just a great example of an accommodation for this little kiddo, and it's his birthday.
Again, blow up here. You're terrible at this. You're gonna light your head on fire. Blow it up here. Whoa, dude. Oh my goodness. Right here, right there. Look. What you? You're gonna open your mouth and blow. Do it. Hold on.
Slow down.
Slow down. So Dad comes back with the accommodation, the straw.
There. Ready? Blow. There you go. Yay!
Wow.
Good job, buddy.
Now eat it.
Now you want.
I love that part so much. So yeah, so what Dad could have done, he could have just leaned down beside his kiddo and was like, okay, on 3, let's blow out your candle. But then who really blows out the candle, right? It's Dad who's just kind of blowing it, but his son is trying, and it looks like his son blew it out. So the accommodation piece, how can we offer our students the appropriate accommodation so they can blow out their own candle, or they can read their own paragraph, or they can write their own paragraph using speech to text. So don't be a candle blower, my friends. Do not be a candle blower. So before we even get to the academic parts, I showed this a few weeks back and people really didn't know that you could do this. So I thought I would add this into this training of one of the built-in features that are in just within Google Drive in itself. So getting organized. So I'm sure that all of your students are very, very organized, but I worked with a lot of students who perhaps were not very organized into the classroom. So when we think about those students whose lockers or their desks are very disorganized and really lacking that executive functioning skill of organization, that we need to support them and really step back and teach them those skills. So, and think about if they're doing online learning, what their online storage looks like in their Google Drive. It probably matches how they organize in classroom. So it can just be just as hard as finding things online than it is in the classroom. So there is a way that I love to think about ways how we can transfer what we're doing into the classroom and transferring that online. So for example, if our students are using a red math folder in class, when they're looking in their locker and looking in their desk, they're definitely looking for that red folder that they're going to grab. So they know that is math. So that's helping them. That visual support of that color is going to help them. And then also perhaps math is written on the front, and that's also going to support them as well. So if they're using that red math folder, how can we transfer that with online replicating that math is red? So all of my online materials that I'm saving in my folders is also red. So there is a way that you can name your folders in Google Drive with not only the visual of the text, but also an icon using an emoji. So this is what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to go to my Google Drive. And here I have a student set up. So these are different folders, and you're going to notice I have music and I have an icon of music beside it. Language, I have a composition notebook, and then math. There's that red folder for math. So now I'm offering that visual support with that little icon plus that text support. And then I can also change this folder into a different color as well if I choose to. I can change the color here. I can also change that red if I need to do that. But I really want to show you the part where we are naming, giving the names with the icon on the folder. So what I need to do is create a new folder. So I did just that. And so I can go to any emoji website. And so I've got Get Emoji here to use for this. So here, all of these are free. And all I have to do is copy and paste whatever color I want. Let's just say that we're going to make science one. So I'm going to copy orange because orange represents science. And then I'm just going to paste it here. So now I've got the orange folder for science, and then I'm going to type in science. So now I'm going to hit create. So now I have my science, my icon of my notebook, and then it's orange. So now this gives a great visual for our students who need these supports and just finding things and can scroll through. Perhaps science is maybe a word that they struggle with decoding. So this is just a really good way to support them as far as organizing all of their materials. Again, I can change that to orange as well if I'd like, along with that little icon. So think about ways how you can organize their entire online materials by adding in emojis and icons and changing that color. So step back and teach your students these skills right away, and it was going to alleviate a lot of frustration right out of the gate, because now they're going to be more organized, and we have to think this is a skill that we probably need to teach. And so earlier when I was talking about assistive technology, a lot of our assistive technology, when we're trying to access text independently, will not necessarily work if our instruction is not accessible. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by when it's not accessible? So if you going to like a Xerox copier and you email yourself a PDF, and then you open it up, just because it's a PDF does not mean that it's accessible, which means it's not really sure. It doesn't know if there's text or a monkey on there because it's not recognizing the text. It's just an image. So the image is not your device or the Chromebook or PC or Mac is not going to recognize there's text. So one way I like to just show how you can check for accessibility as far as the text goes is if you try to highlight, drag your cursor over a text, and if it highlights like it did here on my name, your computer knows that there's text on here. So now my text reader or my screen reader will speak these words out loud, so then my auditory readers can have independent access. So check for that. So oftentimes we're showing ways how to make our instruction accessible as far as text. So one thing that is built into Google Docs that you may not know, and I'm going to show you right now, is that Google Docs has built-in OCR, or optical character recognition. So this would be if you have taken a picture of an image or a Word doc, or maybe a student comes in and they have a packet and they need to read this auditorily. And if they took a picture of it and uploaded it in their Google Drive, Google Docs will scan that and pull out the text, which again is called optical character recognition. You don't have to say that word anymore. Just be super happy because it works really great. And it will pull that text out rather quickly. So this is what I mean by that. So again, this is within Google Docs. So I have taken a picture of this worksheet or reading passage, and my student needs to read this. So, but my student, let's just say, struggles with decoding. Let's just say that he has dyslexia, and the decoding piece of this is going to be a real struggle. So he has to read this and then answer some questions. So if I try to highlight on here, it's not going to let me. It's only going to let me make comments on it within my Google Drive. So I need to have my device decide if there is just a picture on here or there is text. So Google Docs is going to scan that for me and then pull out the text. And this is how it works. So you have to right click on that image that you've uploaded. I think I took a picture with my phone or my iPad to put it in my Google Drive. And then you're going to go with open with, and then you're going to click on Google Docs. And then it's going to start scanning that document and wondering what is on here. Is it just a picture of something, or is there text? So it's going to pull out that text. What I like about Google Docs is it keeps the original image at the top, because sometimes when you do OCR and it scans it, some words, if the font is like a really fancy font, it doesn't necessarily come out perfectly. So you have to make some edits. And then down here is now quickly all of this text, and you can see I can highlight, is now accessible, which means that a text reader or a screen reader will read all of this text. So now my student can read this text, and then it can be independently accessing that text. So I'm going to just show you one feature. This is not a built-in feature. I have the extension called Read Write for Google Chrome on my Chrome browser that you can get in the Google Chrome store. This part that I'm going to show you is free for students. And then if I just click play.
Reading comprehension worksheet. Read the passage.
So then right away, my auditory readers can access that independently. Again, that's not something that's built in. That's something you would have to add. So the built-in feature on Google Docs I wanted you to be aware of is that it has built-in OCR, which can be a game changer for your students. Certainly, our instruction needs to be accessible from the get-go. So if this is something that you would do for your students and then share them the accessible text, that is more ideal. But students should have an understanding that they will get times where things are not accessible. So this is something you can show them how to do, so then they can access text within their Chrome browser. So that's OCR, and it's pretty great. And so the next feature that's built into Google Docs, if you did not know this yet, is, let me go back, is voice typing or dictation. This is where a dictation is built into a lot of our devices, our personal devices that we use. The little microphone pops up by our keyboard, and then we can do hands-free texting or write emails with our voice. That is built in within Google Docs. So like I mentioned earlier, those students who may struggle with writing things down on paper, and if they speak it, they can come out more fluidly. So under tools, it's called voice typing. I'm going to click on voice typing. And so now I'm just going to make some room here, and it's already started. So everything that I say now, you're going to see is going to be typing on my Google Doc. We're going to try that again. My internet's probably wonking out on me. So now everything that I type is going to be typing on this Google Doc. And when I'm done, I just click the microphone to make it stop. So you can see it just automatically just started typing for me. So now everything that I type is going to be typing on the Google Doc. And when I'm done, I just click the microphone and make it stop. So that is accommodation, my friends, that is built in within Google Docs. If you did not know, you're going to notice that when I was talking, there was definitely a delay. So this is for sure a skill that needs to be taught. Using speech to text, again, is a skill that needs to be taught. So when the delay happens, oftentimes that creates some frustration with students, and then they'll stop because it's like, it's not working, like I did earlier. So to get started, I always have students cover their screen with a piece of paper or something, and then just have them click on the microphone, and then they just start having them speak. And then once they're done, they can take that piece of paper off and then see their writing. So there's a real good resource out there that I need to share with you. And if I don't end up sharing it here at the end, just reach out to me and I'll share it with you. But it's a really good resource on how to teach using speech to text. So the first start is just have your students think about what they want to say, and then they're just going to say it. And then they're going to go back and read it like I did. And then they're going to make the edits because it doesn't put in the punctuation, and we still have to have that skill of making edits. So just know you're going to think it, you're going to speak it, you're going to read it, and then you are going to fix it. And if you need any support on teaching speech to text, reach out to me and I am happy to do that for you at any time. So now we've got our OCR, which is going to scan and pull out that text for our readers who need audio formats. We have voice typing or dictation within our Google Docs. So right now we've covered 2 accommodations, or 3 accommodations really, when we think about the organization as well, with that's built into Google Drive. So those are 3 so far. And then the last one is Google Translation. So these are going to support your families who are EL, your students who are ELL. And so I know there's a lot of extensions that you can add on to Google Chrome that will work within Google Docs, but some people do not know built in within Google Docs is translation. So this is this is what it does. So here I've got all of this text. I'm just going to delete this image here at the top. And then if I needed to share this with the student, or if perhaps this was a newsletter that I needed to share with families, up in Tools, click on Tools, I can translate this document very, very quickly. And then I can choose all of these different languages. So let's just say I want to choose, let's just say German. I click on German and then click Translate. So now it's going to translate this into German, this whole document. It's not always that accurate, but if you maybe speak German, you can go in and make edits, but it's definitely better than not having anything at all, right? So just know that you can go in there and just kind of check with accuracy when you're doing the different languages for sure. But the translation is built in. So now we are supporting all of our students who are perhaps who are auditory readers to be able to access text independently. And I can even go back and forth to my English and to my translated German. So that is also built in within Google Docs. So this is just a really quick kind of beginner level if you didn't know and that you're diving into Google Docs because this is what your students are using. I feel like those 4 things are really important to get started with, to know that these are already built-in settings. And on top of that, the built-in accessibility settings of the device that your students are using, dive into those. And if you need more training again on those accessibility settings, or if you need a training on Google Chrome accessibility or apps and extensions for Google Chrome, reach out to me anytime. I'm happy to offer that training for you that gives you a lot of ways to make your instruction accessible and for your students to be independent in their learning, which is so very important. So go to our website at patinsproject.org and you will see our training calendar there, and we put new webinars on there almost daily. And if there is not one on there that you would like, you are welcome to make that specific request and we will make that happen for you. Also on our website, we do have a kind of a sample professional development guide that you can kind of peruse around and look for other trainings that are offered and already created that we can offer for you. So dive deep into that. Again, this just scratches the surface, but I really wanted to focus on Google Docs. because we get so hung up on all of the add-ins, the apps, and the extensions that we have to add on. And I understand that oftentimes a lot of those are blocked when we try to download those. So dive into what is already built in for your students so they can utilize them right away. So I know this was super quick, but you're doing a lot of professional development. I just wanted to give you a quick nugget of something. So contact me again if you need any further support, whether it's hands-on with your students or another webinar or training, or you just have questions, or you need me to brainstorm with you, reach out. There's my email on the screen, my phone number. I'm also on Twitter, so you can follow me on Twitter. And I tweet out a lot of tips and tricks and just things that I'm trying or have researched and have found successful. So I appreciate you being here for the 4 things that you must know that's built in with Google Docs. And again, if you need more extensive training, reach out to me anytime. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day or evening or whenever you're watching this. So thank you.